Okay, on this first one, notice that you have a cylinder and a sphere. Well, two half spheres that make up a sphere. You have your two formulas that I've listed for you. You need to go ahead and find the volume for these two figures that make up the one composite figure. Now, if I was going to find this, I would use my formulas. I plug in my values. For my prism, I have power squared times the height. So I'm going to have pi 6 squared, which is the radius, times the height, which is 11, plus 4/3 pi 6 cubed. Alright, and that's going to give me 288 pi plus, or excuse me, 396 pi plus 288 pi, which equals 684 pi, which is 21 or 2,448.85 meters cubed. So both of those. The next one, you're given a rectangular prism and a triangular prism. So we're going to use both of these formulas. So in our triangular prism, you need to find the total volume of the composite figure. Now we're going to find the volume of the triangular prism. So we're going to have 1/2 14, which is the base of the triangle, times 5, which is the height of the triangle, and then times 9, which is the height of the prism. And then we'll add that to the rectangular prism, which is length times width times height, which will be 14 times 9 times 8, and then that's going to give me 1,008, and then this one over here is going to give me 315. Add those together and we get 1,323 inches cubed for the volume. Alright, our next figure have a rectangular prism and a hemisphere, which is a half of a sphere. So you need to find the volume of the composite figure. So in order to do this, we're going to find the volume of the rectangular prism, which is going to be 8 times 12 times 8, and then you'll add that to the volume of the hemisphere, which is 4/3 pi times the radius, and the radius would be half of the diameter. So our diameter is 8, so half of 8 would be 4. So we're going to have 4 cubed divided by 2. And that gives me, for the prism, gives me 768. And then for the other one, for the hemisphere, it gives me 134.04. Add those two together, you get a volume of 902.04 centimeters cubed. Next, we have two rectangular prisms. That's why there's only one formula there. So I'll find the volume for the composite figure. So right here, the way you set this one up as we know, this height of this one is going to be 7 millimeters. So therefore, for both of these, you're going to set up the same formula: 13 times 7 times 4 plus 7 times 5 times 5. Alright. And then we get 364 plus 175, which gives me 539 millimeters cubed for my volume. Next, we have a cone, and we have a hemisphere again. You need to find, looks like ice cream cone. You need to find the volume of the composite figure. So now we set this up using both of the formulas. Alright, so right here we're going to have, for the cone, 1/3 area of our base, which is going to be 1/3 pi times 10 squared times the height of 15 plus 4/3 pi times 10 cubed divided by 2, because it's a hemisphere. Alright. Plug those in, and you get 2094.4 plus 1570.8, which ends up giving you a volume of 3665.2 centimeters cubed. And there's our volume for this composite figure. Next, we have a cylinder. It's cut out. You need to find the volume of this piece of the cylinder. Now, in order to do this, what you're going to do, you'll find the volume of both of them. So we'll find the volume of the whole thing first. So we got pi 9 squared times the height of 3 minus pi, and then there's our radius for the inner part, 5 squared times 3. Alright. So in order to do this, we get 763.41 minus 235.62, and that gives us a volume of 527.79 meters cubed. Alright. The next one, you have a composite figure with a rectangular prism and a cylinder that has been cut out of it. So find the volume of the composite figure. The way you do this is you're going to take your rectangular prism, which is going to be length times width times height, which is going to be 14 times 10 times 12 minus volume of the cylinder, just pi times 2 squared times the height, which is 12. So now we get 1,680 minus 150.8 gives me volume of our composite figure is 1,529.2 inches cubed. Alright, on our next one, we have volume of this composite figure. We have a square pyramid, and we also have a cone. Find the volume of this composite figure. So on our pyramid, we're going to have 1/3 times the length times the width, or you could do 9 squared because it's a square, so you can say 9 squared times the height of 8 minus the cone, which is going to be 1/3 pi, and then our radius here, since the diameter is 6, our radius is going to be 3, so that'll be 3 squared times the height, and it's the same height of 8. So we end up getting 216 minus 75.4. And then in turn, our volume of this figure is going to be 140.6 meters cubed. Our next one, our last one, we have a rectangular prism again, and we have a rectangular pyramid. And right here we're going to be combining the composite figure, the two figures to make up our composite figure. So on our first one we have length times width times height, so we have 10 times 4 times 3 plus, and then our other figure, this is a pyramid, we do 1/3, and you're going to do length times width, which will be 10 times 4, and then the height, which is right here of the pyramid, which is 4, and that ends up giving me 120 minus 53, or excuse me, plus 53.3, repeating, which ends up giving me a volume of 173.3 repeating feet cubed. All right.